resting heart rate.
All right, you guys. So we've been very conversational about these topics, and let me try to run through these in a very short time frame that you can send to a loved one and just say, listen to this 2 or 3 minute segment on how to get great sleep. So let me try to move through this very quickly. So I'm going to give you 10 tips on how to make sleep. 10 tips on how to achieve high quality sleep. So number one, reframe your identity that you are a professional sleeper. You take sleep as seriously as you do your work. And that means you really invest in creating the craft. Okay, so you are a professional sleeper. Number two is that you want to have your final meal of the day at least 4 hours before bed. You can experiment with 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have my last meal of the day around 8 hours or so before my bedtime. And that allows my body to digest food. You're going to find when you eat earlier, you're going to find that it will give your body time to digest and will lower your heart rate and improve your sleep. You're also going to find that certain foods you eat, for example, if you have something heavy like a pasta or a bread or pizza, is going to cause a longer elevated heart rate. So the kinds of foods will increase your heart rate. So what you eat and when you eat will dramatically affect your heart rate, which then affects your sleep. So eat earlier and lighter to achieve high quality sleep. Number three is you need to have a 30 to 60 minute wind down routine every day. You can't just finish work and then 30 seconds later, you just put your head on the pillow and fall asleep. Your body needs to wind down. You need to calm your mind, calm your body. And so the way I do this is I need to actually have a book in my hand. So I try not to do any screens whatsoever. So screens off, and then something like go for a walk, meditate, breath work, call a friend, have a book in hand, but you want to do something calm and relaxing. Evidence shows that a book in hand, for example, is as efficacious as a sleep pill. So you really want to have that last 30 to 60 minutes to get your body ready for sleep. You really need that time duration. And I realize we are all addicted to our phones, so just go through the process of acknowledging your addiction and setting it aside. Next is when you wake up, you want morning light almost immediately. I get my morning light within 5 minutes. I think the window is like around 20 to 30 minutes. I wake up before the sun rises, around 4:30 a.m. So I use a 10,000 lux light in my home. Otherwise, you can just go out and get sunlight. But that sets your circadian rhythm, and it starts all of the positive processes your body needs to be on a certain rhythm. 4 is you want to be consistent in your bedtime. So if your bedtime's at 10 p.m., be in bed at 10 p.m. every night. Now, of course, you're going to have exceptions. There will be social events, there'll be other things, so just try your best. But when you have the ability to do so in your schedule, try to be on bed at the same time every single night. When I was achieving 8 months of perfect sleep, my bedtime was 8:30 p.m. I was in bed plus or minus like 1 minute every night. At least I tried. It was like a very, very close time frame. And it is, I'll tell you, it is amazing what the body does when it's given consistency. It's like I would fall asleep instantaneously. Next is you want to be mindful of stimulants, and that's because caffeine has roughly a 6-hour half-life. So a cup of coffee at 4 p.m. is a half a cup of coffee in you at 10 p.m. when you're asleep. So if you're going to consume caffeine, try to have it earlier in the day to give your body time to process. And that's also true for other stimulants like modafinil. And then for the evening light, you want to be mindful that to not have blue lights. So try to have screens off, or if your screens are on in the evening, there's tools like Flux, F.lux, that you can have on a browser that kills the blue light. You can also turn your mobile device to have red mode. So you have red light, but you want to try to eliminate blues that will suppress melatonin. So red lights and amber lights. Next is you want to have for your room temperature, is you want to have a cooler temperature. Your body's going to do better with temperature around 69 to 71 Fahrenheit, thereabouts. I use a temperature controlled mattress in 8 Sleep, which really is very useful to modulate my temperature throughout the night. But sleeping hot is very challenging. You also want to have a peaceful sleep environment. So you want to be mindful of noise. So oftentimes people can have like a noisy neighbors, you can be by a noisy street. So try your best to situate where you sleep in your home and the environment so you don't get interrupted by various noises. If you do have noise around, you can use like a sound machine to try to offset that. That does a good job. Or have some earplugs, but be mindful that those things will interrupt your sleep. And then finally, you can have a wearable where you use Apple Watch, Aura, Whoop. They're all good. And just so you create intuitions on what things you do in life and how those relate to your sleep quality. That's been the best thing I've done is I've just really learned what I do in life and how it affects my sleep, which allows me then to build lifestyle and routines. So much of health is not about like take this supplement and do this therapy. It's about lifestyle and habits. And that's what this entirely is about, is making sleep a number one life priority and then building systems around that.